Good morning, YouTube. Today is Tuesday, May 13th. It's early, almost 7 a.m. And if you guys know me, you know by now that I am not a morning person and I don't like being up this early. And as most of you already know, I got my Tahoe back over the weekend. And I've been driving it every day, just driving it as much as possible because I want to make sure that all the kinks are out and that it's working like it's supposed to. And it's been driving great. I mean, smoothest ride ever. No issues there. However, as you saw in my previous video, the service 4-wheel drive message did appear again. And I cleared the message. However, it has been reappearing intermittently every once in a while. It'll just appear out of nowhere. Now, the last time when it used to appear, my engine would get real loud, the SUV would drive very sluggish, and it just wouldn't drive right, so something was wrong. However, this time when it appears, none of those symptoms appear, but what does happen is that it gets stuck in 2-wheel drive and I can't switch it out. So to me, that means that there's a serious problem going on, and unlike last time, I'm not going to ignore this time. So the reason that I'm up this morning, just like before, is because I made an appointment to take it to the dealer. Now, I'm not going to the same dealer that I went to last year. Remember I told you about my horrible experience with them? So I've scheduled an appointment at another Chevrolet dealership. This one is further out south. And I called them and I basically just asked them point blank, can you all fix a service 4-wheel drive error message on the Chevy Tahoe? And they said that they can, and they said that it's going to take about 2 to 4 hours, but they can correct that. They can fix that. Now, here's the thing. Yesterday, I looked up the service 4-wheel drive error message on YouTube, and I found so much great information. I found all kinds of mechanics talking about this issue. This is basically a common issue with Chevy Tahoes, Suburbans, and Silverados. And the issue is very hard to diagnose is what I'm hearing. However, it can be fixed. It's going to be one of like 5 or 6 things. But if you troubleshoot all of those things, you will correct the problem. And I saw what all those things were. However, I'm not a mechanic and I'm trying to go camping this weekend. I got things to do. I don't have time to learn how to do this. I want to go camping. So I'm going to drive it to the dealership right now, and we're going to give them a chance and see if they can correct this. So let's go. Oh, one more thing I forgot to tell you guys was that yesterday that service 4-wheel drive error message came on, and like I told you, it wouldn't allow me to switch out of 2-wheel drive. I just checked it, and now the error message is gone again. So my fear or my concern is when I get to the dealership and they check my SUV and they don't see that error message and they don't see the symptoms, my fear is that they're going to do like the last dealership and say, we don't see it. There's nothing wrong, you know. I have a fear that that may happen. So I'm hoping it's not. And I know a lot of you guys are going to say, well, you should have recorded the message when it was displayed and all that. Yeah, you're right. And when I thought about doing that, I came in the car, turned it on, and I tried to get the error message. However, I can't get it to come back now. So I'm just SOL on that one. So let me get to the dealership and see what they can do for me. I'm going to take you guys with me. Come on. Hi, excuse me.
Morning.
I have an appointment this morning.
Do you want to put your truck on in?
I didn't. Will that door open?
Yeah, you got to scooch it up to that blue line and that door opens free automatically. Sir.
Okay, great. This is my first time here, so I didn't know.
Oh, right on. Yeah, just pull it on in. We'll check you in, okay?
Thank you. line. He said pull up to the blue line and it'll automatically open. So let's go in here. Doing pretty good.
Good?
Yeah.
All right. My name's Chandler. I'll be right with you there.
Okay. Thank you, Chad. I called yesterday because I have an error message on the dashboard that says service 4-wheel drive, and it only happens intermittently, like sometimes, and then sometimes it goes away. Now, when it does appear, I can't get out of 2-wheel drive. It's like locked in 2-wheel drive.
Okay.
And then when it's not appearing, I can get out, no problem. And so yesterday it was there like most of the day. It said service 4-wheel drive, and so I couldn't get out of 2-wheel drive. And then this morning the error message is gone, so now it's working perfectly.
So now they'll have to get it to come back on.
Yeah.
How often does it come on? You said about every other day. Not even?
Yeah, like maybe like sometime in the middle of the part of the day, it'll just come on all by itself. And
Is there anything particular you're doing?
not really, no. It's just
So you're talking about this one?
Yes.
4-wheel drive, or is it shown on your display?
it'll be on the display. It'll say service 4-wheel drive on the display, and then here it'll just be stuck there. Now, I can't move it out, you know. But like now, if I turn it on, I can move it, no problem.
And it'll let you change from 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, yeah. But it's so weird because it just randomly comes on, and then I can't get out.
Is this one blinking, or is it solid light here when it's?
It's a solid light. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you have your key on you? Let me check any codes. It might have any history codes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, sure.
How long has this been going on?
Actually, it's been going on a long time, and I had a mechanic look at it.
Yes, sir.
Because it got really bad, and the rear end was leaking, and it completely shut down and locked up on the highway. So I had him put a brand new rear end in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So now I got it back, and it's been driving great. And then this was this weekend, and now it just comes on intermittently. Just, I don't know. It's hard to say when it comes on. It's random.
Is this your appointment that you'd set?
Yes.
All right.
Mm-hmm. That's me.
But there's no physical. Can you tell any driving difference when the message comes on? Is it doing anything different?
Not now. So see, when I had this problem last year, and last year when the message would come on,
Mm-hmm.
the engine would get real loud, and the brakes. I mean, driving it felt like the emergency brake was on, and it drove horribly.
Okay.
And then when the message would go away, it would drive great again. But now, when the message is there, it just drives great continually. It just
Okay, so no symptoms to that.
no
message
symptoms
now.
at all, except I just can't get out of 2-wheel drive. That's the only symptom now.
Let me go grab those papers just real quick and see if there's any kind of code on that 4x4 system.
Okay, sure. All right, so I knew this was going to happen. Right now, I can't get the message to appear, and trying to explain it to them and make it make sense is difficult.
Nothing here that's showing any type of lost communication with any modules or of any kind for the 4x4 system.
Okay.
Incremental sensor short to ground. I've never seen that code before.
Okay.
But everything here is all history, so nothing's actively happening. I'd be more than happy to keep it and have them drive it, see if they can get that message to reappear, and then we can try to see if it's something they can go in on the computer and identify the issue if you'd like.
Gotcha. What time would they be available to do that?
So it just depends.
Okay.
We're a first come first served basis here, so I'd have to drop off and go in the order we receive.
Gotcha.
Right now, I'm probably about 1 or 2 days before they get to start driving it. Now that's on the long side. So 1 to 2 days before they'd really start to get to drive it, try to duplicate it, hook the computer up to it, and then they could read the data and see if anything looks a little bit off. So
gotcha.
I do have a driver today if you need to ride somewhere.
Okay. Well, I think I'm just going to go ahead and take it home.
Okay.
And I think the best thing to do would, if I could bring it while the error message was on.
Absolutely, I agree. That would be helpful.
The problem with that is, if when the message comes on, and then I call you guys, and then I schedule it, and then
it shuts off.
It shuts off.
Well, you know, something that might be helpful is if you're in the area and it happens to come on, if you swing by and I can just check these codes and see if we have anything come back for any kind of maybe electrical codes that might be in the system. That way we'll have a good start. And whenever next time it happens, I can at least go talk to my front end guy or somebody that might know about the modules and see if he has any input on what might be going on.
Let's do that.
Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
I like that solution.
Well, let's do that, and that way next time I see you, hopefully we'll be able to have more answers for you.
I appreciate that very much. Okay.
All right, I'm Chandler again at the Center.
Chandler, nice to meet you, Chandler.
Yes,
okay. All right, let me get out your hair again, I guess.
No worries.
All right.
I'll get these cars moved for you, okay?
Okay, thank you, Chandler. Yeah, I'm gonna pull out. Okay. So I'm just gonna go home, guys. It turned out just like I thought it was. They can't find anything wrong. He hooked it up to some kind of troubleshooting thing, and he said basically it's not showing any problems whatsoever. He said that it's fine. He says the only way they can troubleshoot it is they need to have that error message displaying. That's the same thing the last one told me. So I'm gonna go home, you guys, because it is driving great, and hopefully if I can get that error message to come back on, I told him I'd bring it back. He says he could hook it up to the diagnostic tester thing, whatever, when the message is on, and he said that should give him some more information to troubleshoot, but right now they can't do anything. So I'm not leaving it here, he says, because if I leave it here, it's gonna have to be here for a couple of days, and you guys know I got a busy week. I don't have time for this, so I'm going home. No message, no error message whatsoever. Tahoe is driving great, like a champ. So frustrating. Okay, I'm back home now. And now you see why I wanted to take you along with me. Because I wanted you to see that when it comes to this problem, service four-wheel drive, they're clueless. They're clueless. You see, that dealer did me the same way the dealer did last year. If the error is not showing at the time and there's no symptoms, they cannot help you. They don't know what to do. You heard the guy, he told me, he says, well, you know, if you can bring it back while it's having the symptoms or while the error message is there, I can hook it up, we can diagnose the problem and try to fix it. You know what I think? I have a feeling that I'm gonna have to fix this issue myself. And after watching all those YouTube videos yesterday, I actually think I can do it. This is actually a tough problem to diagnose and fix, and the reason is because there's like 6 things that can cause this error message. And the way all the YouTube mechanics fixed it is they replaced one thing at a time until they discovered the problem and they fixed it. But all the YouTube mechanics, they were able to fix the problem. It's just a long, tedious process because you have to troubleshoot each part. You basically have to replace each part. The first thing is you have to check the grounding underneath, make sure the grounding is good. They showed me how to do that. Then there's a switch inside, but it's behind the dashboard. That's the only thing I hate. I hate removing the dashboard, but you gotta remove your dashboard to get to these parts. Basically, it's an electrical issue. And I'm gonna have to take that dashboard out, and I'm gonna have to pull these pieces out and replace them with new pieces. There's a switch, there's a motor, there's something else I can't remember, and there's something else, and you just have to replace each one. And it's not that expensive. The most expensive part is the four-wheel drive motor. That's what they called it, the motor. And it's like 200 bucks. But that's the most expensive part. And all those YouTube mechanics, they recommended just getting parts from the salvage yard. Don't buy new. So they said if I do troubleshoot each one of those steps, I will eventually find and fix the problem. I would do that this week if I had time. I just don't have time. I'm trying to do too many things. But when I have time, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and order those parts, and I'm just going to replace all of them. I'm going to replace all the parts that have to do with the four-wheel drive. And there's one other part that's like right underneath the front here, like up by the engine. I'm going to replace all of them by myself. What you have to do, you replace one, and then you drive your vehicle and see if that fixes the problem. And if it doesn't, then you move on to the next part. You replace it. And you drive and see if the error message comes on or if the problem is fixed. And you keep doing those steps until you finally correct the problem. Oh, and then there's a fuse inside here. There's a fuse specifically for the four-wheel drive in here. You have to check that. And then there's another fuse on the inside. You have to check that. So like I said, it's like 6 things. So the good news is that the Tahoe is driving like a champ. It just, when that error message comes up, it won't switch out of 2-wheel drive. And actually that's good for me because I don't need to come out of 2-wheel drive. But I really want to fix this issue because I think this is what was happening last year. And since we never fixed it, it caused something to get worse. And it caused the vehicle to actually break down on me on the highway. And who knows, maybe when that error message happened, maybe I had it in 4-wheel drive last year or auto or something like that. And maybe that's what contributed to the leak and it getting worse. But all I know is this year, I'm not gonna move it out of 2-wheel drive for any reason at all. And I will troubleshoot and fix this 4-wheel drive error message by myself. It's a shame that this is an issue that most mechanics are just not knowledgeable about, and you can't take it to a dealer and tell them the error message and they fix it. You can't do it. So for now, I'm just going to keep driving this bad boy like it is because it's driving great, and I'm checking underneath for leaks. It's not having any leaks, so that's a great thing. Also, yesterday I took the time to fix my trim on the side of my Tahoe. I don't know if you guys had noticed in previous videos, but the trim was falling off. It was looking really bad. And I have to be on set this Friday for the sensitive kind. And they asked me if I had a vehicle that they could use in one of the shoots. And I said, yeah, and I sent them a picture of it. They said, oh, it looks great. So they're gonna pay me extra to park my vehicle for one of the shoots. And since they said they were gonna do that, I figured it was a good time to fix that trim on the side of the Tahoe. I've been meaning to do it, even though I never knew how to do it, but I searched it on YouTube yesterday and I found out how to do it, so I got all the proper tools that I needed, and I just fixed it myself. So this Friday, my baby can make her debut in the sensitive kind and look pretty darn good. Yeah.